Haldir is a solid commander with beasts, and you may wonder, Chisgule, why are you not showing me Haldir right now? Oh, I don't know. Because I'm actually going to send him out on the battlefield, and look at this sucker fly. All eagles, baby! Woo, that's some speed! Covering that distance in 26 seconds when Gimli will get there in 2 minutes and 53. So in this video, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about Haldir, who I'm using with beasts, you could use with ranged units, and there is, oh my gosh, I mean, how much do I go in on protecting this? There is a lot to freaking talk about. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and let's get this party started. This dude's right over here, and I'm gonna go pressure these guys who are taking down this fort, send in the eagles. Woo, and they go so fast. Unfortunately, I should have taken this square, as it turns out, and then I could have completely stopped them from hitting this fort over here. Ooh, and the eagles, oh, they bring the pain. Granted, how many units did he have? Not very many. That's a little cleanup job. Okay, that's fine. I'll show you an eagle build in a bit here, and how, I mean, you know, I wasn't expecting this to be a combat video, but since we're here, oh, look at this. This guy is going to arrive to protect it. I don't even really need to do much to protect that. What I was going to say is that I could guard the tile. And, I mean, there's just so many things that I can do right now to manipulate what the enemy is doing because I have all this speed with Haldir. It's absolutely insane. Oh, that guy's going here, not to the fort. Geez, Chisgule, read the arrows a little better, buddy. He can't even attack me right now because, I mean, my land is protected. It's under contention for 3 minutes. So is his. Funny thing about eagles is they fly so fast. Same is true for reinforcing. They're going to be there in 3 minutes. And like, I don't know. Maybe somebody will attack me. Let's find out if they do. I'm going to start this Haldir guide by mentioning that he is an elf. You can see that in the upper right. And of course, he's got the balanced attribute when you hit level 20. Gives you a little bit of might, a little bit of focus, and speed, 25 of each, and then +2 skill points. He is a commander that, in his base state, has a little bit more might than focus, and has a decent amount of speed to him at his base value. I've got him at level 48. I've been playing with him a lot. He has been a pet project of mine because I wanted to make beasts work. I wanted to find a way to break the eagles, and the only commander I have access to that might be able to do something like that is Haldir, and that is because he's got points that work for beasts. The majority of this video is going to be all about how to make a beast-related build. This is the one I'm testing now. I want to play around with a few more different ideas here. I've got him at high enough loyalty level to do sort of interesting stuff with beasts right over here, beast training. But let's start by talking just about the lower levels of loyalty and what points are in here, because I think there are things that are compelling, even if you don't run Haldir with beasts. He's decent. Not OP, but decent. So let's start with the March Warden of Lorien. The way this works is that you'll have 2 rounds of downtime, and then on the 3rd round, it'll cast March Warden of Lorien, and then it repeats that cycle. This does 240% physical damage, and 1 allied unit avoids the next damage received. Pretty decent. That is 1 instance of damage, so if the enemy has 3 different units that are attacking, and the first one attacks, that damage will be avoided, and then if the next 2 attack, it could land because the avoidance effect has already been used. So it's not 1 full round of avoidance, it's just 1 attack worth of avoidance, okay? Up next is Call the Weak, 210% damage to the enemy with the lowest defense. It's really good. And what's interesting about this is it happens every other round. So the first round, nothing happens. The second round, Call the Weak. Next round, nothing happens. After that, Call the Weak. And it happens over and over. And let me just make sure my armies are okay here. What is actually happening? I look okay. I look fine. But could I go aggressive and hit this guy over here? You bet. In 1 minute and 5 seconds, I'll recheck my circumstance once my eagles have arrived. Normally, it's like a 20-minute reinforcement for me, but eagles, man, dude, you could do some cool stuff with eagles. They're expensive, but because they're expensive, I wanted to give eagles kind of the best opportunity to thrive, which is why I've used Haldir. So going back down to the bottom part of loyalty levels 0 through 2, Guide makes it so that you do extra physical damage with your allied units for 2 rounds, and like that's fine. That's not particularly the plan that I'm on, I think, with the build that I'm kind of using. And when you max this out, you get stun immunity. By the way, when you max out the March Warden of Lorien, you get 15 focus. Okay, back down over here. If you go into Armed Escort, which is something that I wish I was putting more points into, this makes it so you do physical damage to one target, and one allied unit is recovering health, and that's modified by your focus stat, which is actually really good. Like that Armed Escort ability happening every other round is really good, and I'm debating whether or not I should switch my build to be more focused in this part rather than the top part of the tree. There are two things that I really don't like, though, in the loyalty 0 through 1 range. The first is Foresight. Ignoring enemies' avoidance statuses. I mean, you might not even fight an enemy that has an avoidance status. So I don't like to have abilities that are sometimes good and sometimes do nothing. And when it's good, it's really good. But okay, the other one is Elite. I tested this out. I put in 1 point just to see what it did. And it was like very, very, very little, like 0.1% lift to my army's avoidance stats and damage stats. Like it was very, very little that it did. But now that I'm here, and now that some action is warranted, I've got my refreshed Eagles. I don't see why I wouldn't just send them in. And look at that. Can you react to that? I mean, it's just a matter of seconds, and I'm on you. Boom. The Eagles strike. And how do they do? The mobility here feels so good. The draw. Ooh. Okay, so let's get a look at this, because honestly, I'm not doing very well. Boromir is also, in my estimation, not all that impressive. So what does he have? Decked out legendary gear. Sure. What do I have? You know, what I have. Okay. So his Boromir here is using some men and his March Wardens. And this fight is honestly not going great for me. I wouldn't continue this fight. I'm a level higher than him too. So whatever he's doing is not going well for me, to the point that I would say I don't want to take this fight as a draw. I can recall the army back over here. I can send reinforcements and I can just hit him again. And that second time I hit is really going to hurt. So let's bring in more Eagles. It happens so fast that I can strike again, potentially before he realizes what's gone on. And hopefully this fort and these dwarves are going to be okay. I don't have to watch my march very closely. If I don't have to, then we can figure out what to do. Great. I have time to figure out what to do here. It is kind of tempting to send around my other marches. What awkward timing. I'm trying to make a video about Haldir. Why is it that y'all have to attack right when I'm trying to make a video about Haldir? But this does give us some opportunity for me to showcase that I think Haldir Beast is fine, but it's not like absolutely insane, is it? So if we get a look at the units that he's got cataphracts, which are fine. They reduce the damage they receive pretty significantly, which is relevant because, well, I do a lot of damage to melee units. He's got his Cavaliers, reducing damage received and increases their damage at the start of the fight. And these March Wardens, I mean, I am weak to ranged units, so 100% chance to ignore avoidance stats. Well, I have avoidance that I get sometimes, given by Haldir, and unaffected by stun, defense plus 20. Honestly, like, okay. And I just did okay. Like, that's my reaction to that is, I mean, I guess it was fine. So if we look back at what I've taken on Haldir here, to make this beast army, I have maxed out Sylvan Elf. My attacks deal an additional 70% physical and poison damage, and my loyalty, by the way, had to be 3 to even unlock this tree. I also maxed out beast training, 100% health recovery for beasts every single round, which is quite nice. I have avoided what's down here, forest agility, because this is a ranged unit booster. Has a chance of a ranged unit attacking twice per round. Is actually really, really, really good. If you went with a all-ranged unit approach to Haldir, I think that will be a great pickup. And the next thing we need to talk about is loyalty level 5 and the things you can do there, but I just need to watch my Haldir and my Eagles just a little bit for a second to see kind of what's unfolding here and make sure I'm okay. In 1 minute and 20 seconds, I can strike again and do cleanup on this army, which is absolutely what I'm going to do. I'm absolutely going to follow up on that army that did so well against me. And, you know, I had received guidance from more advanced players that Haldir is just okay, and that Haldir Beasts is just okay. I have tried playing around with Haldir with a blend of units here. I've tried using the mix of Bjornings with Eagles, and it's fine. Okay, I have Bjornings, I have Eagles. It's fine. It's okay. It wasn't anything special. Honestly, it wasn't. And I'm now playing around with all Eagles, and it's fast, and the speed is really cool, but you can see the result isn't special. Now, if you're wondering what are Eagles and how do you get them, I'll have a card up in the top. You can go check out the dedicated video I did all about Eagles and where you can get them. And it is worth mentioning just very briefly that a part of what makes Eagles really strong is that they are weak against ranged units, but they're really good against melee units. 60% damage reduction, okay, from melee units, but they take 30% more damage from range, which is a little awkward. And speed stat increases their damage dealt by 18% for what it's worth. So, oh, woo, there are the Eagles. And now I strike this guy again, right? The power of having so much speed. My goodness. Yikes. Okay. We crash in. And then I'll continue this Haldir guide. And let me know down below in the comments, is it helpful to actually see the commander in action? This should be a big win for me, by the way, because his units were so low, and it is. And the damage dealt was pretty steep. Awesome. That's the sort of outcome that I'm looking for. Okay. Now, bummer that on the first attack, I really didn't do very well at all. It took me a lot of actions to do that, but again, the Eagles are so fast, it's really quite savage. So if I join in on this fight, am I going to wreck them? I think I might. So let's just go here. Do I fight them? Pretty sure I do. Clean up a bunch of weak armies? No, I guess not. I have to wait the 5 minutes now. Boo! Oh, I gotta wait for them to come out of their draw, and then maybe I'll do something? That's awkward. All right, well, while we're waiting for that to happen, let's just refresh the Eagles. Oh my God. It's just crazy, man, how fast these Eagles can operate. I love these things. I love these things. And I have enough gold for Eagles, by the way, card up in the top, for the video where I talk about how to just easy one-shot a dragon or a Balrog. That video is actually really important that I made. That's a really good one. So back to Haldir and what you can do. If we go back to allocating his points, the final Loyalty 5 unlock here increases ranged units' capabilities, physical damage boost, and it's modified by speed stat. And at the max level, it gives you 15 might. So obviously, if you're going with a ranged unit build, you're going to max Sylvan Elf, you're going to go max Forest Agility, you're going to max this ability right over here, which is going to give you even more physical damage. And up top, when you're defending, allied units have less physical damage taken by a lot. I think while you're defending just means if you don't launch an attack. I've never actually tested this because I don't have the loyalty, but that actually seems busted good. Normally, in a skill, like, you might get 2% less damage taken on, like, Gandalf. That's the case on Gimli, and it's only for certain unit types. So having 2.5% per point is actually very, very good. And the ranged unit ability over here is also amazing. Damage received is reduced by another 2%. So if you max this, max the Forest Agility, max all of this up top, and you're defending stuff with archers, I mean, is this like a lore thing for the Battle of Helm's Deep? Is that where this comes from? Is that what that's about? I think that would be a pretty cool Haldir build. I would be really eager to see that in action and what those reports look like. But for now, that's not available to me, so I'm rocking out some of these beast options. And I've been pretty happy with it so far. Uh-oh. I lost. How did I lose? Whoa. I got wrecked? How is this possible? So the first army, I won by a lot. But then the second army, what happened here? He's got so many ranged units. I'm super countered. And how many? Oh, rip my Eagles. GG right there. And so I actually think this is really helpful to show in the video. Like, where's Haldir good and where's he not good? And not only did they have more units than me because I had taken some damage leading up to that point, not a lot, but enough, right? That's enough units below that it's problematic. But, like, the Eagles are fast and they're fragile. And this all ranged unit configuration was a really great counter to what I was doing. Now, I'm going to follow this up and deliver a nice, solid punch. I know he's going to be there a while. I'm going to send Gimli, and the fort is in decent shape. I'm going to deliver another punch over here with Dwalin while I'm at it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to swing with Aragorn because revenge. Revenge! Okay. And I can take a couple tiles here. I have just a small amount of tiles of flex. Actually, a very small amount, which is a little concerning. And yeah, he's gonna back off that position because he is in trouble if he stays. So do I still want to go? Yeah, I think I do. I'm here to really tango. Was that even the same player? It was a different player. So that's very interesting. Did they leave? They've already left? That's the player I beat. And I don't even see where that player is who hit me, to be honest. Maybe I should have been paying more attention. But, like, that dude, where? There he is. He hit and he left. He hit and he left. All right. I see you. My eyes are on you, buddy. All right, so back to what can be done with Haldir, okay? If you're looking for equipment to make your beast army stronger or your range army stronger, like, I would pick attributes that benefit that. And my gear options are so limited, okay? So if we just look very briefly at the gear that I have here, I've got something that makes my melee units stronger because, I mean, Bjornings and Eagles are melee units. I have something that makes it so that I have a chance of avoiding the first instance of damage. I don't know. You might be able to do better. I am trying to stack speed for the Eagles in this instance. And then I've got might and speed on the helmet. And then I've got focus and speed for elves and melee unit damage. I mean, honestly, I just don't have many options. And I did unlock a few things I'm not using very recently. I got really lucky. So I got to play around with that a little bit. But for Haldir, you would want to use some blend of... If you've chosen abilities that really benefit from might, you focus on that. If it's focus, you focus on that. And speed, you do that if you're doing something like Eagles. But each of his abilities is modified potentially by different things. So might should influence Cull of the Weak. Should also influence the March Warden ability. If I just get a look at Sylvan Elf, I think that poison and that damage would be focus. I think that his healing would potentially be influenced by focus. Certainly this heal is influenced by focus. He's got an ability here that improves your might and focus by a percentage, but maybe that's just really good with really great gear. I don't know. All in all, I found my results with Haldir to be fine. Ooh, look at this big send. Okay. I mean, wow. A lot of people coming at me right now. Aragorn, how you doing? Do I stay for this? Gimli? There's Dwalin. I could stay for one more hit. Right? But I don't want to get hit by two. I back off that. Just let them do what they're going to do. That's awkward. Dwalin's here and I could swing in. No, I think they got the tile. I think they got the tile. But I had some good fights in here. I mean, this is pretty good for me. Grand scheme of things. Gimli's been doing great. But look, Dwalin, he got his thing for free. Over here, I had some great victories. I mean, here's a Haldir beast army. Had some beasts. I don't know, didn't have much at all. I just did not do well. That must have been a weak army, honestly. And here's another army. We took it down. Yeah. I mean, normally a commander guide for me focuses a lot more on the commanders. This time around, I just got so much going on. There's just so much going on. Hopefully you found this guide helpful. If you're looking to unlock Haldir, if somehow this has convinced you that you want to go all in on Haldir, and I haven't yet seen that be the way, okay? Like, he's one of my better commanders, but I don't think he's the best that you have in Tier 1. It's going to take the Lemnis bread, and the only challenge there is that you would also use that for Boromir. Neither of these commanders is all that exciting to me. I mean, I have been pretty happy with Haldir overall. Pretty happy, but if you're going for one or the other, I would say my experience with Haldir has been better because he's got a lot of really great focus. But if you were to do Boromir instead, going all in on men seems pretty good. So if you're on that plan, I want to say it's all but mandatory with Boromir to kind of move all in on men. If you do that, I think it could be very, very strong. And if you were looking for somewhere to use your ale, if you're thinking, is Haldir the pick? I don't know. I would say Dwalin is probably stronger. I would say Eowyn is probably stronger. But maybe I would put Haldir near the top of the list. Again, if you found the guide helpful, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. I got a bunch of commander guides. This commander guide became a battle situation, which is sort of interesting. I don't even know where I want to go next, what I want to hit next, but I got some battling to do here. Look at all these armies stacked up here. I mean, I'm tempted to just swing in a little bit. Lands in transition, can't march. I want to swing in, weaken them up a little, do some damage. I'll have to wait a moment before I get the chance to do that. I'll run this back so I can refill the troops. That seems like a good idea. My goodness. And we'll be back tomorrow for another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. So subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And if you want to see yesterday when we were battling at the same place, God, it feels like deja vu here. All the card up in the top, where at the same time yesterday, we had the same situation and we were just battling just like this for a really long time. Until next time, you have fun, smash your enemies, and leave your thoughts on Haldir down below. Any guidance, any tips, any tricks, I'd be eager to see it.